Dear students, we know the semiconductors having the solid materials having conductivity between conductors and insulators. The semiconductors basically, the p-type and n-type semiconductors. The behavior of all these can be studied on energy band theory. Energy band theory is dependent on basic three-dimensional arrangement of atoms. Suppose the atoms of aluminum are arranged are one after the other or one over the other or one below the other in three-dimensional arrangement. Suppose they are arranged one above the other. Then their ground state energy level, first energy level, second energy level, third energy level, they will be arranged one over the other. And in this situation, the electron in say 3s energy level having freedom to remain 3s energy level of above atom and below atom. These energy levels forming the typical type of structure, that is the third energy level get arranged in a same line so that the nuclei of all these atoms are along the same axis. The arrangement of these energy levels forming the energy bands. These energy bands are of different types. The energy bands, specifically the valence band. The energy band that contain outermost valence electrons. Conduction band, the allowed energy band next to the valence band where the conduction electron are belong. With this, between valence band and conduction band, there exists the particular energy band where never electron lie. Electron does not belong to this. This is forbidden energy state for electrons, and these are known as forbidden band. Solids are classified on the basis of forbidden energy gap. For conductors, there is overlapping of conduction band and valence band. This is what the representation, where there is energy gap between conduction band and valence band of the order of 0 electron volt. And due to this, the electron in valence band can jump to the conduction band very easily. Usually, some energy equal to energy gap needed to jump the electron from valence band to the conduction band, but here there is no energy gap, therefore easily conduction takes place. On the other hand, in case of insulators, there is energy gap of the order of 5 electron volt. To overcome this energy and jump from valence band to the conduction band is not possible for insulators, and therefore they have no conductivity. Between these, there exists the situation of energy band gap of the order of 1 electron volt. Whenever energy in the form of thermal energy, light energy, electrical energy given to these materials, then electron jump from valence band to the conduction band. And with this, the conduction is possible. Conductivity of these is between insulators and conductors. These are therefore called semiconductors. Their specific property. We are going to study in detail about the semiconductors in this topic. The semiconductors are of two types. One intrinsic semiconductor, second extrinsic semiconductor. In intrinsic semiconductors, there is generation of electron hole pairs when external energy is given, and these electron hole pairs are responsible for conduction. Their internal arrangement of electron hole pairs generation, therefore those are called intrinsic semiconductors. Whenever external impurity like pentavalent or trivalent is added, then we are getting the typical types of semiconductors. These are due to the external doping, external impurity, and therefore those are known as extrinsic semiconductors. In extrinsic semiconductors, the trivalent impurity can be added. If the trivalent impurity is added, then that is in the form of positive hole, acceptor impurity. This acceptor impurity occupied particular energy level that is near the valence band. This is what the representation. And whenever pentavalent impurity is added, then The electrons, negatively charged electrons, are the charge carriers and having higher energy, and these therefore occupy the position just below the conduction band. That is what donor impurity level. In this way, the p-type and n-type semiconductors specifically considered according to their donor and acceptor type impurity, dependent on behavior of these electrons in donor and acceptor type impurity, they are showing their conductivity. We are going to study in detail about both type of these semiconductors. Whenever we consider behavior of these charge carriers, it is found the identical particles with odd integral multiple of spin value cannot be distinguished from one another. That behavior is explained by Fermi-Dirac probability distribution function, so called the fermions. These are specifically electrons. This Fermi-Dirac probability distribution function is given by probability of finding the electron in energy level E equal to 1 divided by 1 plus e raised to E minus EF divided by kT, where P of E is probability of electron in energy level E, EF is Fermi energy level, K Boltzmann constant, and T is absolute temperature. For these situations, there are three different cases. When it is E greater than EF and the temperature is greater than 0 Kelvin, then probability is 0. Electron does not exist means in the energy level above Fermi energy level electron does not exist. For E less than EF, probability is 1 means electron always exists in the energy level below Fermi energy level. And a particular condition E is equal to EF for T is equal to 0 Kelvin. This probability is 0.5. This means this is the highest probability of finding the electron, and this energy level is known as Fermi energy level. In semiconductors, it is the center of gravity of valence band holes and conduction band electrons when weighed according to their energy. The position of Fermi energy level in semiconductors can be determined. Consider Nc and Nv are number of electrons and holes in conduction and valence band with energy bands Ec and Ev respectively in intrinsic semiconductor. The Fermi-Dirac probability distribution function for Ec and Ev are given by probability of Ec is equal to 1 upon 1 plus e raised to Ec minus Ef divided by kT. Probability of Ev is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus e raised to Ev minus Ef divided by kT. If the total electrons are Nc plus Nv is equal to N, then Nc divided by N plus Nv divided by N equal to 1. This then gives probability of Ec plus probability of Ev equal to 1. Substituting these values, we will have 1 upon 1 plus e raised to Ec minus Ef divided by kT plus 1 upon 1 plus e raised to Ev minus Ef divided by kT. On simplification, this gives e raised to Ec plus Ev minus 2Ef divided by kT equal to 1 equal to e raised to 0, which on simplification gives Ef equal to Ec plus Ev divided by 2. This clearly means the position of Fermi energy level in intrinsic semiconductors is at the middle of conduction band and valence band. Here, the representation of Fermi energy level that is given in case of extrinsic as well as intrinsic semiconductor. In intrinsic semiconductor, this is what the position of Fermi energy level. It is at the middle of conduction band and valence band. That is Ef is equal to Ec plus Ev divided by 2. This representation means the electron in intrinsic semiconductor lie at the center of conduction band and valence band. In case of N-type semiconductor, the Fermi energy level lies between conduction band and donor impurity level. This is what the representation of Fermi energy level. And in case of p-type semiconductor, the Fermi energy level exists between acceptor impurity level and valence band. The typical position of Fermi energy level in case of conduction and valence band, irrespective to the position of Fermi energy level in intrinsic semiconductor. These two, that is p-type and n-type semiconductor, are obtained from intrinsic semiconductor. Therefore, there is already position of Fermi energy level at the center according to the intrinsic situation. Rather than these, there is Fermi energy level in case of conduction band, in case of n-type between conduction band and donor impurity level. In case of p-type, it is between acceptor impurity level and valence band. Now, how these conductors and semiconductors are conducting in their usual practice. We know in case of conductors, the resistance R is equal to rho into bracket L divided by A, where rho is conductivity, L is length of conductor, A is area of cross section. And according to Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. Then it gives I is equal to V divided by R. And further we are going to find the situation I is equal to V divided by L. Then we are finding I is equal to V divided by L divided by rho L. That simplified as I divided by A is equal to 1 divided by rho into V divided by L. As J is equal to I divided by A, the conductivity, the current density. 1 divided by rho is equal to sigma is the conductivity. V divided by L is equal to E is the electric field intensity. Then we are getting J is equal to sigma E, the conductivity and current density related in conductors. Now see the conductor having unit length and with drift velocity Vd, the electron moving along the direction of x-axis. Then electric field intensity represented in this way, acting opposite to it. The electron flow against the direction of electric field intensity, causing the current in this way I is equal to NEAV. Then I divided by A is equal to NEV. That is giving J is equal to NEV. Using this in equation 1, we are finding sigma E is equal to NEV. And further we are finding sigma is equal to NEV divided by E. This V divided by E is the mobility and it is given by mu. Sigma is equal to Ne mu. This conductivity is represented in this way in case of conductors. In case of semiconductors, current is due to the electrons as well as holes. Then we are finding the situation. Total current I is equal to IE plus IH, current due to electrons and current due to holes. The current due to electrons is NAEV, and for holes NHAEV. This is what the situation where we are finding the total current I is equal to NEAEV plus NHAEVH. Then I is equal to AE into bracket NEV plus NHVH. Then I divided by A equal to E into bracket NEV plus NHVH. And this then gives J is equal to E into bracket NEV plus NHVH. Where J is equal to I divided by A is equal to sigma E, then we will have sigma E is equal to E into bracket NEV plus NHVH. Shifting E on the right side, we are finding sigma is equal to E into bracket NEV divided by E plus NHVH divided by E. Here we are finding the terms mobility of holes, say VH divided by E, and mobility of electrons V divided by E, and therefore we will have the net conductivity sigma is equal to E into bracket Ne mu E plus NH mu H. It's equation 3. For intrinsic semiconductors, the electrons and holes are equal in number. Therefore, Ne is equal to NH is equal to Ni. Then conductivity is sigma I is equal to Nie into bracket mu E plus mu H. In case of n-type semiconductors, Ne always greater than Nh, therefore those are neglected, and we will have conductivity sigma n is equal to Ne E mu E. For p-type semiconductors, Nh greater than Ne, therefore Ne neglected, then the conductivity sigma h is equal to Nh E mu h. The conductivities can be considered in this way. When the conductor or semiconductor are kept in transverse magnetic field, then it is showing the typical property. This property very well explained by Hall in terms of Hall effect. If the current carrying conductor or semiconductor is kept in transverse magnetic field, then electric potential is developed in the direction perpendicular to both the direction of electric current and magnetic field. This is known as Hall effect, and the voltage generated is known as Hall voltage. Here we are representing, in case of the positive charge, we are finding the direction current is vertically upward. The cross means magnetic field perpendicular to the plane of the figure. Then the electric charge is so developed, causing Hall voltage VH produced in this way. The representation in terms of force, that is V bar, motion of electrons in this way, and this is force acting on it whenever magnetic field is directed in this way. Further, here we are finding, in case of negative charge, exactly opposite situation. The opposite electric potential, that is Hall voltage, is generated, is represented in this way, and direction is in this way. This can be studied in detail considering, say, this a rectangular conductor kept in such a way that electric current is flowing along the x-axis, and here we are finding the magnetic field is applied along the z-axis. Then electric potential is generated between these, say, along the y-axis between terminal 1 and 2 represented it is. This electric potential is Hall voltage. Here the representation of the circuit diagram and the conductor in this way. The cross section is in this way. Here it is, say, d width, and the thickness w is represented in this way. Whenever we are going to study in detail this, whenever electron flowing in this, it is acted upon by two forces. One, force due to the electric field intensity, and second, force due to the magnetic field. The electric field intensity EH for this Hall effect, whenever VH is the electric potential Hall voltage. Then we will have, say, number of charge per unit volume N having magnitude Q flowing through the conductor with velocity V causes current I, then the charge under the influence of equilibrium force QEH due to the electric field EH and BQV due to the magnetic field. Therefore QEH is equal to BQV, therefore EH is equal to BV. But EH is equal to VH divided by D. Then we have BV is equal to VH divided by D. Therefore VH is equal to BVD. The condition for this conductor or semiconductor kept in transverse magnetic field. Now from conductivity, current flowing is given by I is equal to NQVA, where A is equal to W into D. Then V is equal to I divided by NQA. Using this value in equation 2, we are finding V is equal to BDI, VH is equal to BDI divided by NQA. Then VH is equal to BDI divided by NQ into bracket W into D, that giving finally VH is equal to BI divided by NQW. Here the term R is equal to 1 upon NQ is the Hall coefficient, that is charge density. Then Hall voltage is given by VH is equal to RH BI divided by W. This is Hall voltage representation. This Hall effect is applicable in different situations. When it is used to determine nature of the charge carrier and determine the type of semiconductor, whether N-type or P-type. It is also used to determine density of charge carriers, and it is also used to determine mobility of charge carriers. Mu is equal to sigma RH. This representation shows that Hall effect is most applicable in these different conditions. Whenever p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor simultaneously produced on silicon or germanium chip, the p-n junction diode is formed. When junction is formed, then the electron diffuse from n region to the p region and holes from p region to the n region, forming layer of charges as a minority and develop a potential which prevents further diffusion called barrier potential. During this situation, Fermi level in p region is close to the valence band and n region close to the conduction band. After junction formation, the electrons on both sides achieve equilibrium and Fermi level in the junction is in equilibrium known as zero bias. This is what the representation, the Fermi level on this side, it is represented in this way. The Fermi level is in equilibrium whenever the shifting of Fermi level in p region in upward direction, in n region downward direction. Effectively, the conduction band and valence band in p region and n region are shifted and the zero bias situation is observed in this way. Whenever the semiconductor diode is connected in different way, that is reverse bias and forward bias. In reverse bias, the p region is connected to the negative terminal of battery and n region to the positive terminal of battery. In a reverse bias, from p region, holes are moving towards the terminal. Therefore, electrons are added in the ship. These added electrons increasing number of electrons in p region, therefore total number of electrons are increased. Their total energy is increased, and increasing this energy causes the shift of Fermi energy level to the slight higher situation. Compensatively, the conduction band and valence band are shifted slightly upwards. On the other hand, n region is connected to the positive terminal. Electrons from n region moving towards the terminal. Number of electrons will be decreased. This decrease in number of electrons causes decrease in total energy of electrons. Therefore, in n region, the Fermi energy level slightly shifted downwards. Compensatively, the conduction band and valence band are shifted downwards, so that the arrangement shows the potential barrier is increased. As potential barrier is increased, it is not possible to cross the junction by majority charge carriers, and therefore no conduction takes place. This causes the diode does not conduct. This is what the representation of Fermi energy level in p type and Fermi energy level in n type, how it is get shifted, and the depletion region is increased in this way, causing the total potential barrier in this way. This can be conducted in forward bias, where p region is connected to the positive terminal and n region is connected to the negative terminal. In this situation, the holes are added in p region from battery terminal, so that the number of electrons are decreased. If the total number of electrons are decreased, their total energy will be decreased and the Fermi energy level will be shifted slightly downwards. Compensatively, the conduction band and valence band will be shifted. On the other hand, the n region is connected to the negative terminal. The electrons will be repelled from negative terminal to the n region. Number of electrons in n region will be increasing. This increase in number of electrons in n region causes the increase in total energy of electrons. Therefore, the Fermi energy level is rising in n region slightly upwards. Compensatively, the conduction band and valence band are shifted upwards. This causes the shift in Fermi energy level in p region in this way, in n region in this way, and the potential barrier is decreased. This decrease in potential barrier causes the crossing of junction by the majority charge carriers and conduction takes place, means diode conducts in forward bias. The shifting of Fermi energy level easily explains how the conduction takes place and how the depletion region is decreased. Further situation that semiconductor devices are of different types. One of that is the solar cell. Before that, The conversion of light energy in a different way. One it is when light energy converted into electric current, then it is known as photoconductive effect. When light energy is converted into electric potential, then it is called photovoltaic effect. Solar cell is the semiconductor device work on photovoltaic effect. It is PN junction diode with very thin P layer of lightly doped material. This region provided with a thin layer of anti-reflection coating so that maximum light inserted into the junction. The commonly used circuit is in such a way that the microammeter is in series and voltmeter is across the solar cell along with the load resistance. Whenever the light falls on a P layer, electron hole pairs are generated across the junction and the potential difference is generated, which causes current through the circuit and potential drop across a load resistance. The energy band diagram is represented. This was a representation of Fermi energy level at equilibrium position under normal situation. But whenever the situation occurs that electron hole pairs are generated, the depletion region is decreased and this represents generation of electric potential that is used in a particular way whenever connected in circuit. When our solar cell is connected in the circuit dependent on a load resistance, the flow of current and potential drop developed across load resistance can be studied. As load resistance is increased, then it is from 0 to infinity, then current flowing through the circuit decreases and potential difference across the load resistance increases. The graph of current against potential difference is IV characteristic. This is what the representation of IV characteristic. The maximum potential developed across the load resistance at infinite load resistance is called open circuit voltage VOC, and the maximum current flowing at zero load resistance is called short circuit current IS. These two values are specific for IV characteristics. Then efficiency of solar cell is expressed in terms of fill factor, the ratio of maximum experimental output power, that is IMVM, to the ideal output power ISCVOC. This ratio is fill factor. FF is equal to IMVM divided by ISCVOC, where IMVM are maximum experimental values of current and potential. This represents very well behavior of solar cell whenever connected in the circuit. Thank you.